another event with the seal of BPCC, the fourth part of Digital Growth series, Designing for Emotion, Make Visitors Engage with Your Business. We want to present you a new speaker, Fabio Santos.
Hi, everyone.
I would just ask you to identify yourselves with your name, please. And please feel free to write your questions on our chat. So without further delay, I'll give the floor to Edward Wood, our BPC's Northern Committee member and Musko's partner.
Thanks very much, Sarah. So I'll just do a very brief intro. Just to recap, we've done a few workshops over the last few months under our company, Musko, which is a digital marketing agency. And off the back of that, actually, we've managed to help quite a few BPCC companies. We've set up meetings and just had a few bits of advice calls. So feel free to get in touch. So today is a design day. And Fabio is going to lead it. Fabio has worked with us a little bit in some projects and with other co-workers we work with. Mm-hmm. He's been working in design for a long time. It's crazy how technical design actually is and the importance it has on the customer experience. So I'll hand over to Fabio. Any questions, pop them in the chat. I'm here to assist Fabio throughout the chat, and enjoy. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Edward. And hi, everyone. Good morning. It's nice. It seems that we have like 36 people and counting, so that's great. Yeah, so I'm Fabio. I'm the founder of digital an innovation and digital product design company. And for the past 10 years, oh, this is not working. 1 second. For the past 10 years, I've been working with ambitious companies creating digital products and digital experiences that will enable them to connect with their users and connect with their customers to potentially like help them expand and grow their products and their services and make things work much better for everyone that is working with us. Oh, this is not working. And I've worked with many companies, big, small, medium-sized companies. And throughout all of these experiences, I've learned a lot of things about designing products and designing experience, but mostly I learned a lot about understanding people, understanding what makes someone buy a product or what makes someone switch from one product to another, which is something that we're going to talk in this talk. And yeah, my approach is quite, there's probably designers here, but my approach is it's all about defining what matters and helping users or helping clients defining what matters for their business and using that to guide their business decisions, their business metrics. And from that, we create products that enable all of that and achieve the ideas that they want to bring to reality.
Sorry, Fabio. Sorry for interrupting. Is it possible for you to speak a little bit louder, please?
Oh, yes, sorry.
Oh, thank you.
Can you hear me better now?
Yeah.
Much better or just...
Much better.
Okay. So...
Thank you.
All right, I'll just lean a little bit forward because I have the microphone here on the back, on the bottom. All right, so I also have a podcast called Shaping Chaos. It's called Shaping Chaos, where I speak with leaders from across the world in very different markets, very different segments about how to manage chaos and how to manage uncertainty, which is something that if you are a business owner, you probably find a lot of times. So these people are people that are experts in managing uncertainty, and they talk about that in a podcast. So if you are interested in that, if you are interested in understanding chaos and understanding uncertainty, especially like with what's going on in the world, I think these people can help you, and these conversations can also help you. So feel free to visit and to listen. So when Edward invited me to this to this lecture or to this workshop, I thought for a while what would be interesting to talk about. And emotion is something that is always present when we're designing products. And but I was very interested to understand what would be interesting for anyone that was joining. And I thought for a bit and discovered that most of the people that find me and want to work with us are never asked me the question that I want them to ask them. They also never give me the answer that I'm looking for. They usually, because they know that I'm a designer and they know that I have a design agency or an innovation agency, what they look for is, or the questions that I have is, how can I make this pop? How can I make this more beautiful? How can I attract more customers to my product by making it more beautiful? And I think that's not the correct answer to ask, the correct question to ask. But I think that happens because people are probably not aware of the scope or the range that the design discipline can encompass, but also because they've never experienced what design is. And I thought about this a lot of time, for a long time. And one of the things I want to help you or want to talk about in this lecture is this simple question that can change your perspective about products, that can change your perspective about services. And it's a question that is so simple that most people don't think about it. And once we finish this lecture, you're going to start thinking about it and you're going to start use it in your products. That's what I hope. This question is so simple that I'll just show you what's the question I ask all my customers. And the question is this one: what causes someone to use your products or services? And I want you to, while I'm talking, I want you to think a little bit about this. Do you know what causes someone to come to your product and service? What causes someone to maybe download your app, or maybe find and use your hotel services, or maybe why do they choose to use your logistic product versus the millions and millions of products that exist online? Do you really know what causes them to do that? But most clients, when they come to me again, they are just worried about, I want to grow, I want to engage more clients. But when I ask them this, they don't know that. And we spend at least 1 week or 2 weeks just discovering this with them, discovering what are the causes that make someone to find your product. Because what is interesting is that most research and most companies think about segments, and they think about demographics, and they think about genders, and they think about many things that are not related to causation or causality. And just because someone buys the New York Times, just because someone is old or new or young, or just because they live somewhere, that is not the cause for them to buy something. Because correlation is not causation. And most people think that correlation is causation. Most people think that because this 20 years old person is using my app, it means that most 20 years old will use it. But then they forget about all the other people that are much older and use the app in the same way, because what they want is the progress. And this is important as well. What they want is, what is the progress that this app or this service is bringing to my life? The progress is the most important thing. Nobody thinks about the product itself. They think about what progress does that bring to my life. And this is a flaw because in most business schools, like teachers think teachers explain that in order to have success or in order to grow a company, the thing that you have to do is creating a product, adding features, raising money, and then add more features. But this is something that doesn't work very well sometimes. And it causes something called, which are called the great product market disconnect. So there's a disconnect between the product in the market and the person that is buying the product. For example, this is a very interesting video. You probably can't hear the sound, but I found this on Twitter, and someone just labeled it. This is the problems that this is a designer looking at how users use the product. So basically, she's saying she created this product, and someone is asking, where should I put this? And you see the disconnect. People can just use your product the way they like, and you probably don't think about them. You think about your features and how they work. But here you see, like, she's in agony, she's in pain because she's seeing that most users not using the things as she intended it to. And this is something that happens a lot in business and a lot in product design, because there's a disconnect again between one side and the other. There's a disconnect between supply and demand. People create products. When you are supplying something, when you're a company, you are creating products thinking in your features, thinking your strategy. And sometimes you might forget about what are people actually demanding from your product. And they probably are demanding something that helps them with their anxiety, something that will relieve some of the stress that they might facing when traveling. Same thing when your perspective about selling and buying is completely different. When you're selling something, you forget, or when your company is selling something, you forget about the buying experience. And when you're buying something, you forget about the selling experience. How many times have you felt that, oh, this person didn't thought about me when you're buying something, or this company forgot about the anxieties that I'm feeling when I use these products? And there's the same thing with reason, emotion. Most of the times when companies are selling something, they just focus on reasoning. They focus on the features and the strategy and all the little things that they think that people love. But on the other side, people are just thinking about the emotions. How can I get faster to work? How can I use your service to communicate with my siblings in an easier way? And the concept that I find very useful to think about these things is the concept of push and pulling. So as a company, you have to push something to the market, but at the same time, you have to pull people. You have to pull people into your product. And later on, I'm going to show you a few examples of how this works with case studies. But I want you to start thinking about this. So when you push something to people, you are actually kind of telling them, like, you should use this. You should use this because this is better. But rather than doing that, start thinking about how can you pull them in. Rather than showing them how good you are, why don't you show them what they can achieve with your product? And by doing that, you will show them experiences that will pull them in to your product, and they will probably start sharing more about your product your service. They'll probably talk more about your service and product. And just to explain you a little bit more about how important this push and pull forces are in business and in emotion, and to I like to use the example of the mattress industry. Most of the mattresses companies focus on the features. So left-hand side, as you can see here on the screen. And there's many companies that sell mattresses, and all of them use this strategy, or most of them use this strategy. And they start thinking, why can't we sell more? Why we're gonna add more features. We're gonna make everything more sleek. We're gonna make everything more comfortable. We're gonna use new materials. But then on the right hand side, there's someone, an incumbent, a small company, a very small company, comes in and says, rather than focusing on the features, I'm gonna focus on what sleep enables, what the mattress enables, and the mattress enables good sleep. And by focusing on sleep rather than mattresses, you are actually focusing on what people care the most. People care about having a good night of sleep. They don't care about the mattress and the foam that they use. They don't care about the fabrics. Some people will care about that, but if the mattress doesn't fill the very core needs that they need, which is sleep, people will get very upset with your products. So for example, Casper here on the right hand side, they focus on sleep. They focus on the different types of sleep. And they actually made that funny, and they made everything very simple. And they pulled people in by creating an experience around the product. For example, rather than having to go to a mattress store and having to speak with someone and choosing the best mattress there is in the store and trying all of them, laying down, feeling uncomfortable by laying down because there's a lot of people looking and staring at me. I don't know. Have you tried one of those stores, and how did you feel? So rather than looking into that, what they did was, we're going to focus on sleep, and we're going to create an experience around it that will make people buy instantly. They will ship the product to your house. You can experience it. And then if you don't like it, you can return it. But the experience is so easy that you're probably going to use their products. You're probably going to sleep well in their mattresses, because they also cared about the quality, but they cared more about the emotion that was around the product. And so if we look at the push and pull forces, can see that on the push side, it's what the company can deliver. And this is important. What is important here is to achieve the balance between push and pull. Because if you deliver a terrible product, but you can pull people in, people won't stay. So it's a balance. So you have to have a good balance between what you can deliver and the progress and an understanding of what the progress that customer is trying to make. So understanding their anxieties, understanding their habits, and all of that. Because when you study how people buy, you realize that when there's no struggle, so when there's no anxieties, where there's no, oh, I don't like this, oh, this is not working for me, people won't buy. There is no demand. There's no demand for your product. So if you understand the struggle that they're going to and design for that struggle, design around that struggle, you can create much better products. And there's this, I don't know if you probably are aware of a methodology called jobs to be done. We can go deeper into that in a different lecture, but I like how they talk about progress. So there's a struggling moment and there's a circumstance. The most important thing that you should look into is the circumstance that your user or your customer is in when they're trying to hire your product. They want to make progress. They want to bring progress to their life, but they don't know how. Your progress, your product or your service will bring the bridge between their circumstance and the progress they want to make. So by understanding the struggling moment, understanding the emotion around the struggling moment, and understanding the circumstance that your customers are, you can create much better products. Because there's these layers of motivation around every single decision that someone makes. So when you're creating a product or a service, you have to understand the emotional motivation, the functional motivation, and the social motivation. But most people start with the functional motivation because that's probably the easiest um, to work on. It's the functionality. It's all about speed. It's all about efficiency. It's all about making things work when they need. And most products are very good into that. They're very good at defining or creating a product that is very functional and can work when expected, because that's very important. But then if we go deeper, we have to understand as well the emotional motivation. What causes me to use your product? What emotions am I going through in order to find and use your product? How do I feel about something? How do I feel about these services that I'm about to use? Why don't I like what I don't like about this service? And then the social motivation. How do people perceive me when I use your service, when I use your product, especially today with Instagram, for example? Instagram is all about social motivation. It's all about putting a picture out there and showing people how good I am, how my life is good. And that builds a social motivation around my pictures or around my way of living, around the services I use, around the products I use. And people perceive me, will perceive me in the way that I want them to perceive me. So if you have to think about all of these motivations, because in each one of these levels, there is opportunity for you to grow your product and to grow your service. These are kind of barriers or frontiers around your product. For example, if you are in the functional motivation, you have to get into the emotional motivation as well. And you have to reduce the amount of negative emotion around your product, negative social motivation around your product as well. And that will make you create better products and services. So these are the motivations, but also there's 4 forces that will help you create or attract more people into your product or service. And this is very interesting. This is made by Bob Mesta. This is a graphic made by Bob Mesta. So on one side you have the existing solution, and on the left-hand side, on the right-hand side, you have the new solution. And then all the Fs that you see there, 1, 2, and 3, and 4, are different forces. You can see the existing solution as a magnet and the new solution as another magnet. And when you face something, when you face a problem with your existing solution, the force of the new solution will attract you or will pull you into the new solution. So the attraction and the problems and the struggles will pull me in to a new solution. But then I will also, with the existing solution, because I've used it so many times, there's habits, there's anxiety of uncertainty. So that magnet will also pull or push me in, will also pull me to the existing solution that I'm using. So once you understand how can you turn the gauge on the magnet, one of the magnets, you can create better products as well. Because if you are able to make F1 and F2 bigger than F3 and F4, you are able to make your new solution or your new product to attract more people. Or if you don't attract anyone, you are competing not with other products, but you're also competing with non-consumption. And non-consumption is something that most people forget about. Non-consumption, most businesses focus a lot about competition and focus about who are their adversaries, who are the next of kin, but they forget about all those people that are not consuming because they never found the right solution. So if you understand struggles and if you understand emotion, you can understand, you can pull people in, these people that don't have any kind of consumption and don't want to consume anything because they never found the product that they like, you can pull them in as well. So, so I want to now talk a little bit about some case studies. And this is 2 years ago, I worked with the biggest or the second biggest airport in Saudi Arabia, is Riyadh Airports. And they came to us with a big problem. They wanted to make people happier when they were using the airport, because they had a product that nobody was using. It was a product like most airport products, or most airport products focused on all the services that the airport provided. And when do you need that? You probably don't need that many times, because if you've been to an airport at least once, you know how they work. And if you need help, you're probably going to speak with someone, or you are going to find a way of solving that problem. So we started on this problem by understanding exactly what I was talking before. So we started on mapping out the experience of someone traveling in the airport. So we interviewed a lot of people in the airport, trying to understand the journeys that they were going through and the kind of emotions they were feeling at each step of the way. Because traveling to an airport, it's not just about the airport experience. It's also about what's happening before you get to the airport, but also after you leave the airport. So the experience still continues. So we found out that the most the biggest emotion that people were feeling was stress. And stress was rising and falling as you go through the airport. So we wanted to create an experience that would enable people to reduce the amount of stress that they had when they were going through the airport. So we created an app that will help people to have a timeline present at all times for their journey. So you'll know exactly at what time you are expected to leave, what time you are expected to get to the security check, how much time you will get there, when do you do the check-in, all the information about your flight. And that helped people a lot, especially when we started turning in notifications, turning in and using technology to, again, talking about the functionality, using technology to help people go through the airport and understand where they were at a specific time, and changing this timeline according to their current journey. And by reducing the negative feelings that they had around the functionality, and by reducing also their emotional feelings of stress, by providing them with a little bit more information about their traveling, they actually enjoyed the experience much more when they're going through the airport, and they had great time. We then start exploring more things, but I think that's not important for this lecture. What is important for this lecture is probably trying to understand how the big companies are using this knowledge and using this very well. For example, Apple, with for me, one of the best innovations that they made in a few years was the AirPods. And the AirPods are becoming one piece of technology that many people won't leave their houses without, or even like living within their houses and using it all the time. So Apple, I think Apple is one of the best companies at understanding emotional, functional, and social forces and the social motivations. Because when they create something like that, rather than, if we think about all the other companies that create headphones, they will probably focus on design. They'll probably focus on the best sound. They'll probably focus on colors, they probably focus on materials, but Apple does that, all of that, plus creating experiences around their products. For example, Apple just released for the Apple Watch, and for anyone that has an Apple Watch, um, something called Time to Walk. And it's something that encouraged you to go for a walk, especially because of COVID. We are, most of us are like in quarantine, or we are locked in our houses. Um, Walking is proven to be effective for mental health. And they just created this experience that will use their AirPods for people to go for a walk and listen to their favorite celebrities talking about a specific story in their lives, or maybe just a story that they wanted to share with the world. And if you think about this, we completely forget about the AirPods in the first place, and we focus on the actual stories, and we focus around this ecosystem of that Apple creates around their products, and they are able to pull more people in, because as soon as people start enjoying an experience, they'll start talking with about that experience, and they will bring more people in. And as soon as they bring more people in, people start buying more, and the cycle just continues. And what is interesting is that Apple, it's starting to create these big experiences for their products, so that you are locked in their platform, and you're, every time that they create a new experience that uses most of their products, they'll pull in more people, and they'll pull more of your emotions. They understand your emotions. They understand what the struggles that you're going through, and how can you overcome that with their services. For example, the Apple Fitness, that is one of the most recent features that Apple released, uses all their products in one single service. And that's incredible how they create these experiences that enable people to use their products with a lot of good emotions around it. Same thing, they just bring in the iTunes Music to the fitness app. Very interesting as well. Another company that I would like to talk about is Airbnb, and how they switched from focusing on houses and started focusing on experiences and selling experiences around their main core activity, which is traveling and renting people houses. So in the beginning, Airbnb was just focusing on hosting experiences and renting houses for your holidays, or if you were traveling for business, or all of that. But then they realized that there was a lot of emotions around traveling and around booking someone else's house, and they realized that they could create or they could tackle those emotions by creating new services. Because when people travel, they want to feel like locals. They want to feel that they're part of the community, and they want to feel that they are part of the community for that single day, or part of the community for a single week. And they realized that emotion was very present for everyone, or most people that were traveling through Airbnb. So they created this what is called the Airbnb experiences, that enables people to pull in, or it pulls more people in to their products. Same thing, that actually helped them to sustain their business whilst on pandemics, because they changed their business to virtual experiences. And then they talk about Lux, but I don't want to talk about that. But so the key takeaways from this conversation, what I want you to take home is, and to take to your companies, is I want you to focus more on causes. because if you look for what causes people to use your products, you will find ways of making new experiences, making new products, and making new messages probably that will pull people in your products. I want you to design for the struggling moment and finding the struggling moment, which is the most important thing when you're selling a product or we're selling a service. And listen for the motivation. When you're doing interviews with customers or with clients, listen for their motivations. Don't listen to what they say they will do, because most people say they'll do, they will never do. So I want you to become an expert at listening for motivation. And one of the things I like to tell my clients all the time is the quality of your questions define the quality of your products. If you're not asking great questions, your product is lacking innovation. Your product is lacking new blocks.
Fabio, you've gone on mute somehow.
Am I on mute now?
It's perfect. It works now.
No, you're fine.
Okay. So I was about to say feelings are more important than features. So focus on the feelings first, and then create features or experiences around those feelings, and pull people in. Start thinking about this push and pull. These push and pull ideas, and start bringing in that to your company and your products. And a few references that I use for this lecture is these 3 books. The first one is Competing Against Luck, which talks about jobs to be done methodology and talks about how to understand struggle and how to understand motivation. Then the second one, The Mom's Test, is a very good book for asking very good questions. And then the demand sales side, it's all about demand. It's the pull-in side of the forces. Yeah, and I want you to take this home. How do your products or services help your customers make progress in their lives? Yeah, thank you.
Cool. Well, thank you very much, Fabio. Where's my video? Here's my
I don't
video.
know why I can't connect.
video's on.
I can't use my mouse as well. I don't know why.
Thank you so much. That was awesome. I mean, so technical and makes us think about things you never thought you would think about, right? And
yeah,
brought it down technically, emotionally, and all tied in with design. So thank you so much. What about if anyone has any questions, please pop them in the chat. But what we can do now is we can maybe do a quick audit. Should we quickly do a design audit on a BPCC member's website or something, or a website?
Sounds good. Yeah.
Should we do that? I mean, I'm just looking at the list. We could probably look at, if you want to pop your website in the chat, you can. I was just looking something relevant. Sarah, have you got any ideas there?
Can I just say that if you for everyone that is listening, if you want to share some feedback about this lecture, I would love to collect that and understand how can I improve it for the future, and how was this helpful for you. So if you want to do that and follow the link, or just point your camera to the QR code, that I think it's 4 questions, very simple to answer, and you'll help me a lot.
Oh, brilliant. That's very clever. Look at this digital coming in. Just point your camera at the QR code. So we've got one come through. The first one is www.greens.pt. So should we take a look at that? It's in the chat, Fabs. Miguel has posted it. Have you got it there?
Yeah. 1 second.
Cool. Let's
you said greens?
We can do a couple. Yeah, greens.
Greens.
Just do a couple minutes on greens, and maybe we can fit another one in as well.
Can you still see my screen?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can still see your screen.
Awesome. All right. So I don't want, what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at this as a buyer. All right. And I'm going to look at this website as someone that comes in in the first place. And let's just see what kind of emotions do I feel when I use your product. Well, how do I move this? Okay, cool. So it seems to me that this is a college. And this is related to tutorials. Interesting. So it's a college education, study online. Okay. So it seems to be something that is related to education, and I can do something. I can take my classes online. That seems to be the first impression that I get. Also, like the images help me a lot to define, to get kind of an idea of the stance and the importance of this website or this product or this service, and also like the way that the logo type and the logo appears on the top helps me understand the importance of this business. And for example, one of the things I will probably come here for is to do online classes, because I probably am not able to go to the university. And at the end of the day, I have some time to study, and I would like to advance my classes, to advance my education. That's what it seems that I can do here. These images, because they are hidden by this kind of overlay, they make me a little bit anxious, because I don't know what they are, what's behind them, or I can see very well, but I see that study online. So I'm going to go to study online. So very good use of images here. I think the way that you're laying out the text is too wide and it's very difficult to read. So that's one of the things that's a barrier that I would like you to look into. So the barrier of putting people at ease when they need to read. So right now, I wouldn't read any of this because it's too much text in a very wide space. And I'll probably click on the images and study online and understand the fees. So I can type my name, which is great. So you can collect information straight away. But one of the things that I've missed here when I see study online, I would like to see some examples of how that online courses look like. And I can't do that. So I might not want to commit to any fees without seeing the actual content. But this is just me wandering around your website, right? But I like the look and feel of your website. I like, what is this? I like the information about pricing, which is very extensive and probably has to be this way. But I'll find a way of putting people even more at ease with your product by simply just making a few highlights or a few ideas on this page, for example, showing an example of what a class is, or showing someone talking to me as someone like a professor talking to me about what I'm going to learn, what progress will this service bring to my life, and how can I achieve that in a very easy way, and how can I fit that into my life, because that's very important as well. Yeah, so I think, yeah, very good website, just needs a lot of work on nailing the emotional side of things. I like the designs. Brilliant. And I like the look and feel.
Thank you, Fabio. That's the Bodleian Library, I think, is that, if I'm correct, in Oxford. So yeah, it's lovely. I love it. So yeah, that was a great little insight into someone's website. A very quick little audit.
Oh, thanks, yeah, very Fabio. Quick.
Thank you very much. So we've actually got some questions come through. I know we could look at websites all day. Let's do a question or two, and then we can move back to a website if needs be. So Mark,
let's do questions. I like questions.
Yeah, Mark. Oh wait, where's that all? Here, David. David's had a question. How important are human elements to motivate? Related to emotions, how important are human elements to motivate?
I think if you like, I assume that when you say human elements, you think about pictures, or you think about the way that people interact with you on a hotel or in a reception. I think they are very, very important, it's very important to understand emotions in order to design a very good service. If you don't understand emotions and the human side of design, it's very hard for someone to understand what you're trying to achieve, and for someone to help you out in your quest to bring progress in your life. And I can tell you that most of the work that I've been doing as a designer myself, it's more about understanding people than designing pretty websites. It's more about understanding what makes people come to your website and trying to understand how people think in order to get here, than creating beautiful websites and choosing beautiful colors. Design is not about that. At least the design I do, it's not about that. It's not about psychology.
Great. And we have another question here from Mark, which is, Sylvia, we can come back to you just now and look at your site if we have time. So, hello, Fabio. Very engaging presentation. Thank you. I do have a few questions regarding emotion within marketing. How can emotion be shown in a marketing campaign with a minimal marketing campaign? How can emotion be shown in a campaign with a minimal marketing campaign budget, but still look professional? For example, you have used Apple as an example, who have a large marketing budget available to them. Have you any small business examples?
Yes. So for example, the small business that I used was Casper. They are very big now, but when they started, they had very little budget. And the thing that they focused on was, again, sleep. They didn't talk about mattresses or the springs or the foam or the materials. They focused on the sleep, and they focused on what the progress that you'll bring to someone's life. So with very little money, you can make you can attract and pull people in to your product by understanding the struggle, because most of these multi-billion companies, most of them, they don't understand why people buy, why people use this product against that one. So if you understand that, you are in the biggest advantage, and it's very difficult to actually copy someone's product when they touch on the deeper and core level of motivation and emotion.
Nice. Cool. All right. And let's do another question again, and then we can maybe move to a case study.
All right. We can do one more, and then we can move to the questions.
Okay, let's do one more. So actually, Nicholas Ashby has posted, unfortunately, that obviously he's got a hotel in Bali, which has obviously been badly hit by COVID, unfortunately, like pretty much all the tourism. So Nicholas is wondering if we can look at his site, okay, which is mayorresort.com. I don't know if you've got it there. I'll send it to you directly here, Fabio. Okay, and then a few questions to follow up. So if you can pull up Nicholas's site.
Yeah, maybe just share again.
First, yeah. Okay,
all right.
Great. And cool. Then when foreign tourists can travel to Bali again, the resort will need to be repurposed to reflect the new normal of the travel industry. So it will need to send out a completely new message. All right.
Yeah. So I think, like, first thing first, it seems that this website focuses a lot on the actual product, what they have. So the houses, the beautiful pools, and the beautiful surroundings. But it seems to me that the only image that touches my emotion is this one here. I don't know if you can see my mouse, but this is the one that I look for when I'm traveling. I look to see the sun setting. I look to probably see dolphins. And how can you, I was wondering, how can I experience all of that whilst coming to this resort? What kind of experiences do you provide? It's probably something here when I go in and discover a little bit more, but it seems that there's no activities. Okay.
I mean,
so
take me there right now. I will be there.
Exactly. Yeah.
Jeez.
But I wanted to.
This is amazing.
Yes, but if if you use your landing page for attracting and pulling people in, rather than focusing only on the product, also focus on what kind of emotions will people be feeling when they come in. How are people sharing things on social media, for example, Instagram and stuff like that? Yeah, so focus on that. Focus a little bit more on the emotions, and a little bit less on the product, because your product is incredible. It's a beautiful resort, and I'll just focus a little bit more on experiences, just like Facebook, or like Airbnb does. They do it so effectively that it's very hard for anyone to compete.
Yeah, jeez, it looks amazing, Nicholas. Okay.
Thank you very
All
much.
right.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot. Let's just, we don't have much time left, so I'll just have a quick look. Oh, where's my? I've completely lost the messages. Where are the messages gone? Oh, here on the left, on the right. Okay, so yes, Sarah.
No. I just want to help you.
Oh, great. Let's look. Restored. See if we have any questions. What kind of emotions will be valued on the post-COVID era? What are your thoughts on that?
That's a big question.
Thank you, Anna.
I think, like, this is my personal opinion. I don't know if it will be exact or not. It's just a prediction. But I think that most of us, with what we're facing right now, we're facing the lack of belonging, probably because we are not able to belong into our previous existing communities of friends and family. They are very far away sometimes, so we're probably going to need a way of connecting much more deeper with the people that we like, and also the people that might come as new people in our lives. And people are looking for that. People are looking for ways of enabling that via, for example, Zoom. So I think that it's the sense of belonging, the sense of connection. I think people are tired of the superficial, and I hope that this is something that is coming out from the virus.
Would you say that authenticity?
Oh yes, definitely.
Authenticity. Oh God.
Authenticity. Yeah.
Authenticity is a good value for the post
definitely.
era. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
I think if you are authentic, it's probably what will pull the most people in, because people are tired of fakes and people are tired of things without soul. So if you are able to just use that authenticity and pull that into your product, you're gonna go a long way. It will take a while, but you're gonna go a long way. Invest on the long term.
Okay, thank you, Fabio.
Thank you.
Just trying to see if we've got another. This is quite on point, I think. Let me just have a quick look. Work travel. Who's it? Anna, you sent up a link, worktravel.pt. If you wanted to look at one more, Fab, we've got work travel and algatera.com.
Yeah, I'll just use one of them. And sorry about that.
Yeah.
Because we're running short on time.
You choose and let's go.
I'll just pick the first one,
Great.
which is work travel. All right, let me just share my screen. Where is it? Sorry, oh, it's here. Share here. All right. Can you see it?
Yep.
All right. So first thing first, it seems that this website is still in production. So the product is still building up. That's what the first feeling I get. But I'm biased because I'm so used to see products that this is just the first experience for me. I like the call to action, a growing hub, people, ideas, and events, and the branding, the brand name helps me understand what this product about. But then once you have, so this is one of the things that most people do, and I think, at least from my experience, I've never seen it working, which is splitting a product in two. When someone comes to your product, they want to engage with content. They want to engage with something that is relevant to them. And for example, imagine if you go to Facebook and you're going to have friends and family, and you have to choose one. You don't want that experience. You want to have a way of just seeing everything that there is, and then finding what is relevant to me. What is relevant for me might be work, might be travel, might be both. So I'll find a way of creating, of making this content more of like a hybrid, and make people discover a little bit more. Yeah, in terms of like feel, these lamps on the background are kind of not helping promoting your brand. I think you can find something more interesting about growing and about people and ideas, which is here in your amazing call to action. And most people spend a lot of time just on this page. So just focus 80% of your effort in this page and 20% of your effort in all the others, because when people come in to your product, they do exactly what I did. Spend time here and don't go anywhere if they don't find what they're looking for. So yeah, so that's what I will do with this product.
Okay, thank you, Fabio.
Thank you.
Thanks, Fabio.
Yeah, I'm just making this quick and easy.
Yeah. It's amazing. It's amazing to get such an experienced insight into everything and covering areas of user behavior that I'm sure, well, especially me, and I'm sure most people or some people on this call wouldn't think about. So yeah, it's amazing. Thank you so much. It's been very insightful. Very insightful.
Really.
And thank you, Sarah and Elena, for
We thank you. We thank you both for this enriching sharing of knowledge. It was really great. And also like to thank all attendees. And you hope you did enjoy it as much as we did. And we are looking forward to... Sorry? Okay. And we are looking forward to the next and the last one of our digital growth series on the 3rd of March. So looking forward to see you all.
And if you can,
video marketing.
Yeah. Video marketing, yeah.
If you can, just give me some feedback on that link I've provided. I can share that with you on the message as well.
Great.
Okay.
I'll do that.
Brilliant. Thank you, Fabio.
How do you send to everyone? Can you send to everyone? Oh yeah, you can.